Part 32. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 311. Chapter 311 Mr. Mo is so good at attracting bees and butterflies. Old, wife, the girl was stunned, and then her heart was broken. Such a very handsome guy, he actually has a wife. The other girls next to him also had pity expressions on their faces, but then I thought about it, there are not just a lot of women competing for a man with such a good condition. A man like this is surrounded by countless women. How could it be possible that he belongs to the category of people who marry late? I just don't know what his wife looks like. Is she also an eye-catching beauty? When the man first talked about his wife, his eyebrows instantly softened a lot, and he no longer seemed so distant. Moreover, I personally came to the flower shop to pick flowers for my wife. It can be seen that he likes his wife very much. The eyes of several little girls showed envy. These girls are not shameless. They knew that Mo Yesi had a family, so they stopped pestering him. In the car. When Wei Zheng saw this scene, he secretly sighed that his Mr. Mo was really charming. No matter where he appears, he can attract a lot of women. He just said it would be better to let him get out of the car and buy it. After all, Mr. Mo's face is so attractive. Hello, welcome. Mo Yesi walked into the flower shop and was immediately greeted by the clerk. The moment his eyes fell on Mo Yesi, he was obviously startled. The man was dressed in black clothes and black trousers. His straight and slender legs were particularly eye-catching. His deep and three-dimensional facial features were so handsome that they looked as if they were carved. Even though he was dressed simply, he could not hide the beauty he exuded from the inside out. The air of purity and nobility. The man looked so outstanding that the clerk was in a daze for a few seconds. Until she heard the man say, "Pick some flowers that girls like, and I'll give them to them." Hearing his deep magnetic voice, the clerk's heartbeat accelerated a little, and he asked with a hot face, "Sir, who are you giving this to? Is it a colleague, a friend, or my wife?" When the man said the three words "my wife," his tone became much gentler, showing a touch of doting. The clerk's reaction was the same as that of the little girls outside. Suddenly he knew that such a handsome guy was actually a man with a family, and he couldn't help but feel a slight sense of loss in his heart. Oh, sir, please wait a moment, I will go and pick flowers for you right away." When the clerk turned around, he couldn't help but glance at Mo Yesi again. This guest is really handsome. Appearance, figure, temperament, and dressing sense are all top-notch. It is simply equivalent to the level of stunning beauty among women. Still the kind that enchants a country and a city. He is so handsome, he must be quite rich based on his clothes, and he cares so much about his wife. His wife must have saved the universe in her previous life, so she could marry such an outstanding man. Asterisk. After Chiao Mian and Zhang Luli arrived at the restaurant, they sent another text message to Mo Yesi, telling him that they had arrived. Mo Yesi quickly replied, saying that he would be there in a few minutes. The two of them took their seats, and the waiter came over and handed them the menu. Chiao Mian flipped through it casually without ordering, and handed the menu to Zhang Luli. Lugo, please order." "Are you ordering now?" Zhang Luli took the menu. "Aren't you waiting for the handsome man?" "Let's wait until he arrives before ordering. He will be here soon. You can order a few of your favorites first." Chiao Mian patted her chest proudly. "Just order whatever you want, no need to consider the price." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 312. Chapter 312 This evil rich man. She hasn't spent much of the money on the black card that Mo Yesi gave her. She has figured it out now. Since she has decided to accept Mo Yesi, she must treat him as her real husband. So, isn't it natural for a wife to spend her husband's money? And her husband is so rich. When she spent it, she felt that there was no psychological burden. On the contrary, if she didn't spend a penny, she felt that the person who had an opinion should be mo-yesy. Baby, have you really decided to invite me to eat here? John Lully flipped through the menu and was a little shocked when he saw the prices above. This revolving restaurant is very famous. When Bai Yushen was discussing cooperation with someone, he took her here once. There were 6 people in the meal, and they ate almost 1 million. That $1 million meal impressed John Lully deeply. Sure, am I kidding? But, it's very expensive here. John Lully picked up the menu and covered half of his face, and lowered his voice and said to her, if it's a treat from a male god, I won't say anything at a more expensive place. Are you sure it's your treat? Have you brought enough money? John Lully still knows Chiao Mianmian's financial situation. The last time I went to the banquet for dinner, it was Mo Yesy's invitation. So, she was not worried about Chiao Mianmian paying the bill at all. Even if the price of this place is slightly lower than that of Yanting, if 3 people eat it, it will cost at least 6 figures. Chiao Mianmian said nothing, she just took out a wallet from her bag, and then took out a black card from her wallet. Then he put the black card, which symbolized status and wealth, on the table. Baby, feel free to eat. The money in the card is enough for a meal. What the hell, Heike? John Lully's eyes widened for a moment. He picked up the card and looked at it over and over. Then his voice became lower and he asked Chiao Mianmian a little excitedly, baby, was this card given to you by the male god? How much money is in this card? Chiao Mianmian said honestly, it's about 1 million every month. He said it was my pocket money. Holy shit, 1 million monthly pocket money. John Lully was drooling with envy. That's right, and he said that because I'm not good at spending money, I'll give him less for now. John Lully. This evil rich man. Does pocket money always start at 1 million? Baby, tell me, does the male have any older brothers or younger brothers? As long as he is an adult, it's fine. I also want to find a boyfriend who can give me 1 million a month. Suddenly I thought, what should I do if I fall in love? Having a boyfriend who gives her $1 million in pocket money every month, what else is there for her to struggle for? God knows, her ultimate goal in life is to be a happy rice bug who does nothing, can eat well, sleep well, play well, and have no worries about food and clothing for the rest of her life. Chiao Mianmian thought of Mo Shixiu, and her mood was a little subtle. She was silent for a moment and said, I guess I have a brother. Brother? Brother, how are you? John Lully smiled, are we brothers? Are they born from the same mother's belly? Yes, brother, it's your other male idol. Chiao Mianmian added the sentence silently in her heart. Have you seen him? Is he handsome? Is he in good shape? Is he on the same level as my male idol? Chiao Mianmian thought about it seriously before replying, he's quite handsome, and he has a pretty good figure. As for his standard. Thanks for the rewards of 185.62, temperature difference, 158.40, 156, 139.0504, and 180.76. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 313. Chapter 313 Is that person Chen Chen? She rolled her eyes and said with a hint, I think he is almost on the same level as your ex-boyfriend Mo Shixiu. She had seen Mo Shixiu on TV, so she had met him before. Are you on the same level as Mo Shixiu? John Lully perked up instantly. If she was joking just now, now she looked a little more serious. Are you sure? You didn't lie to me, is he really that handsome? Chiao Mian nodded, yes, I'm sure. She wondered if she could be unsure. She was talking about Mo Shixiu himself. But she imagined that if Zhang Luli really met Mo Shixiu, she would most likely be intimidated. Absolutely don't dare to be infatuated with him in front of Mo Shixiu. After all, Mo Shixiu is handsome, but he has the character of a veteran cotter, and he is still the most serious and feared kind of veteran cotter in the department. Facing that face that looks like it was carved out of ice, no matter how beautiful it is, it still makes people shy away. Still single. Chiao Mian thought for a moment and didn't say anything too harshly, that should be it. I haven't heard that Mo Shixiu had any girlfriends. Besides, he is so busy all day long, flying around, so he doesn't have much time to have a girlfriend. Zhang Luli grabbed Chiao Mian's hand that was resting on the table, tightened it, and said with a serious look, baby, as the saying goes, good things don't go to outsiders, and those who are close to the water first get the moon. With such good resources, why didn't you follow earlier? I said. If you marry the male idol and I marry his brother, we will become real sisters-in-law. Your best friend will become your sister-in-law. Wouldn't it be wonderful to think about it? When we become a family, our friendship will reach a new level, don't you think so? Chiao Mian, So, for my lifelong happiness, and for our friendship to be closer and stronger, you must help your bestie once. Chiao Mian looked at Zhang Luli's serious expression, and for a moment, she couldn't tell whether she was joking or not. If possible, of course she would like Zhang Luli to be her sister-in-law. The most ideal relationship between sisters-in-law is that your sister-in-law is your best friend. But, Zhang Luli and Mo Shixiu. Would this pairing be a good match? Zhang Luli, who has a crazy, fun-loving personality, may not like a man with the personality of a veteran cotter like Mo Shixiu. Furthermore, if she wanted to introduce him, she had to first ask Mo Yesi whether Mo Shixiu was single and whether he had any such considerations. Luoluo, are you serious? Chiao Mian asked seriously, do you really want to get to know his brother? Yes, I do. Zhang Luli said with a smile, a man on the same level as Mo Shixiu is a top-notch handsome guy. I will definitely get to know him if I have the chance. Even if he doesn't like me and can't be a lover, he can be with a top-notch handsome guy. Friends are also a joyful thing. Chiao Mian. Okay, she finally figured out that Zhang Luli was not sincere. She just wants to get to know one more handsome guy. After seeing through her psychology, Chiao Mian didn't bother to talk to her anymore. Zhang Luli was originally looking at the decoration in the restaurant. He turned his eyes around and saw a familiar figure, with a surprised expression on his face. Her eyes widened a little, and she shook Chiao Mian's arm. Mian, look, is that person Chen Chen? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 314. Chapter 314. The two of them must have had a quarrel, right? Chen Chen. Hearing that the person Zhang Luli mentioned was Chiao Chen, Chiao Mian immediately raised her head and followed her gaze. A few seconds later, she also opened her eyes wide with an expression of shock. Not far in front of them, a man and a woman walked towards them. The men and women looked young, only 16 or 17 years old. The man is wearing white clothes and white trousers. He is tall and thin, with delicate and handsome appearance. Although he is dressed very ordinary, his appearance is quite outstanding. Much more handsome than some of the popular young men in the entertainment industry nowadays. The girl next to him is dressed fashionably, wearing designer clothes from head to toe. Her long, slightly curly brown hair is hanging loose, with a diamond-encrusted pink hairpin in her hair. The girl looks pretty and cute. She is at the age where her face is full of collagen. Her skin is pink and tender. When she smiles, the apple muscles on both sides of her cheeks are exposed. She looks very youthful and beautiful. The two of them can be said to be talented men and beautiful women, and their looks match each other very well. The boy was at least 1.8 meters tall. The girl next to him was only as tall as his shoulders, making her look even smaller. She looked very cute. Chiao Mianmian's eyes widened as she watched the waiter lead the boy and girl to a dining table. The waiter pulled out a dining chair with a very respectful attitude. The girl seemed to be accustomed to such service. She held her skirt in one hand and sat down gracefully. The waiter went to the other side and pulled out a dining chair for the boy. But the boy stood still, lowered his head and looked at the girl with an unhappy expression. "I'll go, what's going on?" Zhang Luli's face was filled with gossip, and he stared at Jiao Chen, his eyes shining. "Is Chen Chen dating that girl? Mian, when will Chen Chen have a date? Friends, you know." Chiao Mian was at a loss as to what she knew. This is also the first time she has seen a girl around Jiao Chen. She is also shocked now. Okay. She also had 100 questions in her mind, and she also wanted to know what the relationship between Jiao Chen and that girl was. According to my visual inspection, the girl with Chen Chen is definitely fair, rich, and beautiful, and her family is super rich. The hairpin she is wearing is a new hair accessory just released by the C family, with all the hairpins inlaid on it. It's a pink diamond, and it costs at least 6 figures. The pink princess dress she is wearing is also a new model from C's house, and the price starts at 6 figures, as well as her bracelet, shoes, and the cartoon bag she is carrying. They are all luxury brands. Tisk, she must be worth at least 700,000 to 800,000 yuan, and the waiter is very respectful in front of her, so he must know her identity. Ordinary rich people cannot enjoy such treatment. Chen Chen, it's okay. He met such a rich bifeume without saying a word, and he even hid it from us. He was just discharged from the hospital, and now he's taking his girl out on a date? The couple is very close to each other. Okay. But Chen Chen doesn't seem very happy. They must have had a quarrel. Mian, do you think we should go over and say hello? Chiao Mian pursed her lips and said nothing. She was also looking at the girl. As Zhang Luli said, a girl's famous brand, whether it's her dress or her demeanor, can tell that her family background is very superior. You can tell at a glance that she is the kind of young lady from a wealthy family. Chiao Mian stared at the girl for a while, frowning slightly. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 315. Chapter 315. It was a misunderstanding, I didn't peek. Why does she think that girl looks familiar? Opposite. Chiao Chen didn't know yet that his sister was sitting at a table behind him, staring at him. His face darkened, his lips tightened, and he lowered his eyes to look at the pretty girl sitting for a while, with a hint of impatience on his face. Shen Xian, didn't you say there are other classmates with you? They are here. Facing his somewhat annoyed eyes, the sitting girl smiled slightly and her voice was as sweet as an aureole. Chiao Chen, why are you pretending to be stupid? There are no other classmates here, only you and me. What? Chiao Chen was stunned, and the anger in his eyes increased. Didn't you mean? I lied to you. The girl smiled delicately again and said in a soft voice, if I didn't say that, would you have come? Okay, stop staring at me. I'm not doing this just to have a nice date with you. I've dated you so many times before, but you ignored me, so I had to lie to get you here. Chiao Chen said angrily, you. Not you, me, mine. The girl raised her chin slightly, with a look of arrogance on her face. You are here, so just finish the meal with me. Stop standing, everyone around is looking at us. Chiao Chen was extremely angry. Shen Xian, a liar, actually deceived him. She said that today was her birthday, and she invited some friends to celebrate here, and several of them were close friends with Jiao Chen. He thought that with so many people together, it was impossible for Shen Xian to do anything extraordinary, so after thinking about it, he came. Jiao Chen has been avoiding Shen Xian and trying to avoid being alone with her. Now that he found out that Shen Xian had lied to him, how could he still be willing to stay? Miss Shen, if you want to eat it yourself, I'm not interested in staying with you. I have something else to do. Before Jiao Chen finished speaking, he heard Shen Xian laugh lazily. Jiao Chen, if you don't eat this meal with me today, when you get back to school, I will tell you about peeking at my body. Go out. By then, the whole school will know that you are a big pervert. What do you think? Jiao Chen was stunned for a moment. When he realized what she was talking about, the young man's fair and handsome face was instantly covered with a blush. The previous indifference and alienation were all gone, and turned into irritation and embarrassment. It was a misunderstanding, I didn't peek. I don't care if you peeked. Shen Xian picked up the coffee on the table and took a sip. Anyway, the result is that you watched it and took advantage of me. Don't even think about denying this matter. Our conversation at that time, but it was recorded. Jiao Chen looked at her in shock. Did you record it? Yes. Shen Xian smiled sweetly at him. If you don't record, what will you do if you deny it? Classmate Jiao, I don't ask too much. If you finish the meal with me, I will let you go. Don't you seem to have suffered a lot and are so reluctant? Don't you think it's a pleasure to sit in such an elegant restaurant with a beauty like me? Jiao Chen looked at the girl's pretty face, took a deep breath, clenched his fists, and tried his best to suppress the anger in his heart. He has never seen a woman with a thicker skin than Shen Xian. He declined politely and explicitly rejected her so many times, but she still kept pestering him. She will do whatever it takes to achieve her goals. She doesn't even have a girl's sense of shame, and she can say anything. Happy weekend, babies. One by one. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 316. Chapter 316. This friend of the male is quite beautiful. Of course it's impossible for him to peek at a girl's body. But that night. Recalling what happened that night, Jiao Chen's face felt a little hot. He didn't mean to, but he really saw Shen Xian's body, although he only saw a naked back. The girl's body, as white as snow, appeared in his mind, which immediately disturbed his heart. Oh, stop being so coy. Just be a little more generous. As a man. Seeing that he was still standing, Shen Xian stood up and stood on tiptoes to kiss one side of his face. Jiao Chen's body suddenly stiffened and his eyes widened. While he was lost in thought, Shen Xian pressed his shoulders and asked him to sit down. This scene. Jiao Mian and Zhang Luli, who had been staring at them, both saw it. Holy shit. Zhang Luli was so excited that he even uttered curse words. We all kissed? They must be boyfriend and girlfriend. Chen Chen is so awesome. He kidnapped Bai Fumei without saying a word. It's obvious that a girl is so proactive. I really like him. But Chen Chen's face is really attractive to little girls. Jiao Mian was not sure about the relationship between Jiao Chen and the girl at first. But when the girl stood up on tiptoes and kissed Jiao Chen, and Jiao Chen didn't push her away, she also wondered whether the two were in a relationship. But if it was his girlfriend, why didn't this girl even visit him once when Jiao Chen was hospitalized? If it's not your girlfriend, how can you explain your behavior just now? Jiao Chen is her younger brother, and she knows him best. The fact that he didn't push the girl away just now speaks volumes. But precisely because she knew Jiao Chen very well, she felt that the two were unlikely to be lovers. With Xiao Chen's character, it is impossible to have a girlfriend after knowing that he has a heart disease. Moreover, their brother-sister relationship is very good. If anything happens to Xiao Chen, they will all tell her. He never mentioned this girl in front of her. Xiao Mian couldn't sit still. She wanted to go to Xiao Chen to ask him clearly, but was afraid that it would be inappropriate for her to go there. After thinking about it, she took out her mobile phone and sent a WeChat message to Xiao Chen. Chen, where are you? Just a few seconds after she sent the WeChat message, she saw Xiao Chen taking out his mobile phone. Less than a minute, she received a reply. Chen, sister, I am having dinner with my classmates. Xiao Mian remained calm. Classmate? Male classmates or female classmates? As soon as she looked up, she saw Xiao Chen holding his cell phone and thinking for a while. I waited for a while before he got his reply, female classmate. Xiao Mian looked at this reply and the corners of her lips couldn't help but raise. Haha, you brat, you are quite honest and did not lie to her that she was a male classmate. Xiao Mian was about to send another message to ask when she suddenly caught a glimpse of a familiar shadow from the corner of her eye. She raised her head and frowned involuntarily. What kind of luck is she having today? Going to audition, I met Jiao Angzhen. Come to the restaurant for dinner and meet Shenro again. She should have checked the almanac before going out. Why was she so unlucky? Zhang Luli noticed the change in Xiao Mianmian's face, followed her gaze, and asked curiously, do you know the woman in the black skirt? Who is she? Xiao Mian pursed her lower lip and said calmly, yes, I know her. She is Mo Yesi's friend. Friends of the male god. Zhang Luli couldn't help but stare at Shenro twice, frowning as he looked at her. This friend of the male is quite beautiful, she commented objectively. Thank you for the tip. Thank you for the reward from Confident Life, Kuang, Yunwei, 13947, and Lufu. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 317. Chapter 317 Don't Talk Back to Me. In terms of looks, of course her baby is better. However, the woman opposite and her baby are of different types. Her baby is a little childish, not as feminine as the woman in the black dress. House is the type that many men like. It is a bit uneasy for a male to have such a beautiful friend of the opposite sex. Well, it's quite beautiful. Xiao Mian also admitted this objectively. Although she doesn't like Shenro very much, she doesn't deny that Shenro is very beautiful. A woman with a good background, good looks, and a degree in a prestigious university must be the goddess in the hearts of many men. Asterisk. Miss Shen, please come this way. The waiter respectfully led Shenro to her reserved seat. Shenro walked, her steps paused. She turned her head and looked at the table next to her, her face changed slightly, and she shouted in surprise, Zioxin. Shen Xian, who was talking to Xiao Chen, was stunned for a moment and raised her head. The moment she saw Shenro, her expression also changed slightly. Sister. Shenro looked at her, then at Xiao Chen sitting next to her, her brows immediately furrowed, and her tone became stern. Zioxin, what are you doing here? Who is this boy next to you? Shen Xian was panicked for a moment, but quickly calmed down. She raised her lips and smiled, stood up and introduced to Shenro, Sister, I'm here to eat. This is my classmate, his name is Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen, this is my sister. When Xiao Chen saw Shen Xian standing up, he couldn't sit down any longer, so he stood up too. He nodded to Shenro and said, neither arrogant nor humble, hello, Miss Shen. Shenro's sharp eyes fell on his slightly pale and handsome face. When she heard Shen Xian say the word Xiao Chen, the expression on her face changed. Xiao Chen. Are you from home, only son? This question is very confusing. Even Shen Xian didn't understand why her sister asked about this. But Jiao Chen replied politely, "No, I have two sisters at home." "Two sisters?" "Yes." After Shen Rou asked, the expression on her face was even more indescribable. She stared at Jiao Chen with complicated eyes for a few seconds, then suddenly turned her head and scolded Shen Xian angrily, "Xiaoxin, go home right now." Sister Shen Xian frowned and pursed her pink lips, "I'm still having dinner with my classmates." "What's wrong with you? It's scary. Go back when I tell you." "Don't talk back to me," Shen Rou said forcefully, "go back immediately, or I will ask Dad to deduct your pocket money for this month. Do you hear that?" Shen Xian is also a little princess who is extremely pampered at home. And because she is the youngest, Father Shen and Mother Shen usually dote on her more. Shen Rou also dotes on this younger sister. Shen Xian has been pampered by her whole family since she was a child. She has never suffered any hardship or suffered any injustice. Suddenly, she was yelled at by her doting sister, with such a fierce tone. Shen Xian suddenly turned red with aggrieved eyes, raised her chin stubbornly, and said angrily, "Sister, you can come here to eat, why should I? No. I won't go back." "Okay, why are you so angry with me?" It's inexplicable." Seeing that she was disobedient, Shen Rou's face turned ugly. "You're not going back, are you?" End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 318. Chapter 318. Are all the Jiao family members so shameless? Shen Xian was actually a little worried about this sister, but she still held her chin up and said stubbornly, "Yes, I won't go back." After Shen Xian finished speaking, she turned to look at Jiao Chen, ignoring Shen Rou's face that had darkened, and said with a smile, "Classmate Jiao, leave my sister alone. Let's sit down and order. Let me tell you, this place." She was still introducing the signature dishes here to Jiao Chen. Just after saying a few words, I felt a sharp pain in my wrist. Shen Rou's eyes were filled with anger, and she grabbed her arm and pulled her outward. "Shen Xian, I tell you, you must go back with me today." Shen Xian's skin was so delicate that her wrists turned red and her eyes turned red when she pulled her like this. She cried out in pain, "Sister, it hurts so much. Let me go." Shen Rou had a dark face and turned a deaf ear to her words, dragging her out of the dining area harder and harder. "Sister, let me go, it hurts, it really hurts." Shen Xian struggled, tears streaming down her face from the pain. Shen Rou didn't seem to notice, and turned her around, wanting to take her away. Just after taking 2 steps, I felt my arm being pulled. "Miss Shen, please stay." Jiao Chen didn't know why, but the moment he saw Shen Xian crying, he felt a trace of intolerance in his heart. He made a move that he had never thought of. Shen Rou's back seemed to stiffen. After a few seconds, she slowly turned around. Jiao Chen also let go of her hand after she stopped. "This, classmate Jiao, do you have any advice?" Shen Rou looked at Jiao Chen with cold eyes, a trace of hatred flashed in her eyes. Jiao Chen glanced at the hand she was still holding onto Shen Xian, hesitated for a moment, and said in a polite tone, "Miss Shen, Shen Xian's wrist is red, she was crying out in pain just now, should you let her go?" Shen Xian suddenly raised her head and looked at him in surprise and surprise. She didn't seem to expect that he would help her. After all, in Jiao Chen's eyes, she was a very annoying girl, and he never had a good impression of her. "What does that have to do with you?" Shen Rou said in a cold voice with a somewhat aggressive tone. "This is between me and my sister. Don't you think you are a bit nosy?" Shen Xian looked at Shen Rou in astonishment. Her eyes showed a look of surprise and incomprehension. She is the sister who pays the most attention to social etiquette, and her external image has always been very elegant and gentle. No matter who she is dealing with, she will treat them politely and gently. This was the first time that Shen Xian saw her sister treat others with such an impolite attitude. And this person is still her classmate. She has brought her classmates home before. Shen Ro would never be like this. Why does she have such a bad attitude towards Qiao Chen? This is nothing like her usual self. Qiao Chen was also stunned for a few seconds. He glanced at Shen Xian with complicated eyes, took a deep breath and said, Shen Xian is my classmate. I don't think I am meddling in other people's business. Even if she is your biological sister, you can't do this to her. Miss Shen, please let her go. Shen Ro pursed her lips and stared at Qiao Chen with a gloomy face for a while, then suddenly raised her lips and sneered, Are you people from the Qiao family so shameless? What did you say? Qiao Chen's expression suddenly changed. Shen Ro's eyes showed resentment. It was not enough that Qiao Mian took away the man she loved deeply. Does she still want her brother, who has a heart disease, to seduce her sister and then climb up the high branches of the Shen family? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 319. Chapter 319 That woman is a vixen. How come the Qiao family are so shameless? Everyone wants to climb high. Are you crazy about being poor? The most powerful Mo family and Shen family in Yunqing, do they want to catch them all in one fell swoop? When Mo Yesi met Jiao Mian, she was still abroad and had no time to stop it. But now, since she has seen it, it is impossible for the Qiao family to continue to succeed. Shen Xian has been raised in a greenhouse since she was a child. She has never been exposed to the sinister nature of people outside and thinks that everyone is kind and beautiful. Her thoughts are too simple and can easily be taken advantage of by people with bad intentions. Qiao Mianmian's success in climbing up to Mo Yesi shows that he is extremely scheming. How can her brother be any better? Shen Xian was also shocked by her sister's remarks. It sounds like her sister knows people from the Qiao family. Moreover, you have a grudge against the Qiao family. What exactly is going on? Ms. Shen, what do you mean by what you just said? Why do we, the Qiao family, feel so shameless? Qiao Chen was so angry that his tone was no longer polite, and the expression on his face turned cold. There was disdain in Shen Ro's eyes, that's what it means literally. Qiao Chen, I'm warning you, stay away from Xioxin in the future. The daughter of our Shen family is not something you can imagine. Xioxin simply doesn't know what you are thinking. I know it very well. You think Xioxin is easy to deceive, so you want to use your face to lure her, then climb up the high branches of our Shen family, and easily change your original class. Stop dreaming, Xioxin already has a fiancé. Her future husband will only be a well-known man who is the right match for her, not a poor man like you. Shenro looked at Qiao Chen's pale but handsome face. On his delicate face, a strong resentment rose in his heart. Qiao Mian confused Mo Yesi with just one face. Now her brother also wants to use this face to confuse her sister. The two siblings are really shameless. To seduce people with is something that only the witch concubines in ancient times would do. Sister, it's not what you think. Shen Xian's face suddenly changed. She looked at Qiao Chen panicked and worried, and hurriedly explained, Qiao Chen didn't abduct me, I took the initiative to pursue him. You misunderstood him. Shen Xian couldn't believe that these harsh and unreasonable words would be said by her sister who paid the most attention to etiquette and image. She couldn't even imagine how angry Qiao Chen would be after hearing these words. Even if you took the initiative, he took the initiative. When Shen Ro saw Qiao Chen, she thought of Qiao Mian. She clearly remembered every word of what Mo Yesi had said to her that day. Just for one Jiao Mian, he actually ignored their friendship of more than 20 years. That woman is a vixen. Him fascinated him to death. Now except for Jiao Mian, no one else is important in his heart. But before Jiao Mian appeared, she was the only woman beside him, and that special treatment clearly belonged to her. Now, everything has changed. The man she had loved for more than 20 years was snatched away by a woman who was not as good as her in everything. How can this teach her how to be willing? Shenro vented all her resentment and dissatisfaction towards Jiao Mian on Jiao Chen, and her words became increasingly ugly, as if she had lost her mind. You are not old, but you have a lot on your mind. Your Jiao family's tutor is. Have you been taught since childhood how to use your own advantages to cling to the powerful? Please curse Shen Balian as much as you want, no mercy. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 320. Chapter 320. Even if you are a woman, I will still beat you. Your sister is pretty good at this. Qiao Chen's face turned livid with anger, he clenched his fists and his whole body was trembling. If he hadn't never hit a woman, he would have punched Shenro in the face. Being humiliated like this for no reason, even if he didn't like to cause trouble, he couldn't hold back his anger. What's more, Shenro mentioned Jiao Mian just now. The thing Jiao Chen can't tolerate the most is someone humiliating his sister. This was even more intolerable to him than scolding him in person. Shen, don't open your mouth and talk nonsense. What happened to my sister? I tell you, I can't stand it if you humiliate me. If you dare to scold my sister, even if you are a woman, I will still beat you. You. My sister is 100 times better than this dirty-mouthed woman like you. You have no right to talk about her. Moreover, he took a deep breath, cracked the knuckles of his clenched fists, glared at Shenro angrily, gritted his teeth and said, I have no interest in your Shen family at all. What you call a famous family is just in my eyes. You think everyone takes this as seriously as you do. Since your sister is already engaged, tell her to stay calm in the future and stop pestering me all day long. From the first year of high school to the third year of high school, I almost annoyed her to death. Don't say anything. I want to climb the high branches of your Shen family. Even if all the women in the world die, I will not look at the women of your Shen family. Qiao Chen was also mad. He was not interested in Shen Xian at all. It was this annoying woman who kept pestering him all day long, insisting that he be her boyfriend. Now being insulted like a beggar by her sister who has a sense of superiority, Qiao Chen is very angry. When angry, it is easy to speak indiscriminately. As soon as he finished speaking, he saw Shen Xian's eyes filled with tears, biting her crimson lips and looking at her with a hurt face. As soon as she blinked, tears fell from the corners of her eyes and fell on her fair, pink, and delicate face. She had disbelief in her eyes. It seemed like he couldn't believe that Jiao Chen would say those words. The moment Jiao Chen met her eyes, he was stunned for a moment, feeling a little irritated and annoyed in his heart for no reason. I feel a little regretful for what I said just now. Although he has rejected Shen Xian many times, this is the first time he has spoken so harshly. A delicate young lady like her must not be able to bear these words. Qiao Chen also knew that what he said was hurtful. The moment he saw Shen Xian crying, he felt a little regretful. But then I thought about it, this might as well be. Let's take advantage of this opportunity to speak clearly. Since his previous tactful rejection did not take her seriously, it would be better to say it more harshly. She is, after all, a wealthy young lady who is used to being pampered. She cannot continue to pester him even if she gives up her self-respect after he says so. Thinking of this, Qiao Chen clenched his fists and said hard-heartedly, Shen Xian, please let me go and stop pestering me. I don't want to bear the reputation of your noble Shen family. I don't care at all either. I don't want to get between you and your fiancé. I don't have a fiancé, Shen Xian said with tears streaming down her face. She could see that Jiao Chen was really annoyed and tired of her this time. From now on, he really won't pay attention to her anymore. It's none of my business, Jiao Chen said in a cold voice. If you pester me again in the future, I won't give you face. Shen Xian bit her lips, unable to speak, and her tears flowed silently. Thank you for the reward. The girl's last pride is her inferiority complex. Thank you for the reward of 158.06, there are stars in your eyes. Thank you 130.88, 138.42, for the friendship reward. End of this chapter.